But obviously tonight it's our All-American show. We are unveiling our first team and we are unveiling our second team. How we have chosen to do this, we're going to go position group by position group. So for the skill guys offensively, we'll go quarterback into running back, into wide receiver, into tight ends and offensive line. Defensively, same thing. We'll start with the line. We'll work our way into the secondary. We will unveil the first team award recipient. We will unveil the second team award recipient at the same time. And then the wheels are off, because I know from pre-show that these two have some thoughts about exactly what these awards look like, and I can't wait to hear it all. So let's start with the quarterback position. Our first team, field of 12 All-American, none other than the Heisman winner himself, Caleb Williams. Our second team, quarterback, TCU's Max Duggan. Couple other guys invited to the Heisman ceremony did not make our first or second team list. Felder, let's throw it your way. Do you agree with the way we stack rank these quarterbacks?
Throw it to Clint. He's the quarterback. You tell me, dog.
Yeah, no, look, I love these two guys, being represented on our big board here, man. I mean, I think when you look at the way the season unfolded, I think Caleb Williams was a runaway Heisman. Even though he lost twice to Utah, I think when you watch the USC team play, I mean, there's no doubt about it that Caleb Williams is putting his team on his back, and they're going to go as Caleb Williams goes. There's no doubt about it. There's no plugging another player in behind Caleb Williams if he gets hurt, or maybe even next year, and you see in the same USC product. There's no doubt when you look at Caleb Williams. When you talk about just quarterback play as a whole, I think one of the things I love about quarterback play right now is how the quarterback position is being likened to the point guard position. Yes. I absolutely love that, man.
Diversity.
I love it, man. Just my quarterback eye, which is better than most, if I might add, my quarterback eye. There's a lot of things I hear, and having played, I'm like, that shit out of here. It don't even make sense. What the hell are you talking about? When you hear point guard and you watch how the top quarterbacks are playing at the NFL level and how the top quarterbacks are playing at the college level, the ones that have the ability to do it, not everybody does, and not everybody should, but the ones that have the ability to do it they're unicorns. There's a handful of them. And the fact of the matter is, Caleb Williams is the unicorn of all unicorns in terms of how the position's being played, and he's carrying his football team. I love him in that number one seed right there, G.
I dig that. I think I would have put Bryce Young or CJ Stroud maybe above him. Obviously, because we're talking about I'm thinking about the next level. But at the same time, when you look at Caleb Williams, what he's doing is he's Chris Paul, right? He's Chris Paul. He's out there. He's distributing. He's giving it out there. And then every time he needs to get to the cup, guess what? A little dribble drive. And this is right in Greg's wheelhouse. A little dribble drive. And guess what? Boom. He hits it off the square. That's going in the bucket, baby. And he can do that for himself. And the other part, and I love that, honestly, I love that we have Max Duggan at 2. Because Max, you want to talk about a guy that bled, sweat, cried for his team. What he was able to do in that Big 12 championship game, I don't know that we would get that from Bryce Young. I don't know that we would get that from CJ Stroud. And that's not a knock on them. It's more of pushing him up, because what Max Duggan did in that Big 12 championship game, this dude, they were losing. They were going to lose this game. And he just decided, no, not today, not me. And I know they lost, but what he did, and Clint, tell me this. Tell me if I'm wrong. But this dude, he said, nah, I'm not. We won't lose because of me.
No, look, there ain't no doubt, baby. Look, when you talk about the Big 12 championship game, to me, that's right there when Max Duggan took a huge leap up the boards in terms of like your quarterback rankings. At the time, we were talking about the Heisman Trophy, right?
Yeah.
I thought Max Duggan should get a courtesy invite to the Heisman Trophy. That's what I thought. Hey, man, let the dude go. What he did is a good story. When I watched him in the Big 12 when I watched him in the Big 12 championship, it went to a whole nother level. The biggest game of the year, the biggest moment. This dude puts him on their back in a major, major way. And the only thing that held him back, and I'm not being critical of the play calling, is the fact that they didn't put it in his hands the last two plays, right? But here's why I love Max Duggan. I think there's something there that no matter how the game is played, guys, I think there's something there when a guy, his intangibles are as good, if not better than his tangibles. Yeah. There's something there about the guy that comes out, never panics, and adjusts at halftime and comes out and his team takes a lead or separates. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I want that. To me, that guy's a lot better than the front runner that's always got the lead and he ends up winning 11 or 12 ball games, right? Right. And
that's the difference between him and CJ Stroud.
No question. And then when you look at how he finished the season, it's Max Duggan, no question about it. Now, if we're talking about the point guard stuff again, then Bryce Young needs to be in the conversation. I can't put Bryce Young there. They lost 2 ball games, and then he missed 2.5 ball games throughout the year that I just think no SEC championship, missed a couple of games. And I think that's too much of not enough to be in this conversation with these guys.
I get it. I dig that. The big thing for me, I just think that Bryce Young, he's played for an NFL, like going to the next level. Give me Bryce Young.
No question.
I want him.
Yeah. Also, just to reset and add some color to this conversation, right? Bryce Young not even on our final list of nominees for this quarterback spot. The 4 that did not get named. That's a Duggan problem, though. The 4 that did not get to the name to the first or second team: Stetson Bennett, C.J. Stroud, Hendon Hooker, Michael Penix Jr. Also, Felder, just to add, I like your Chris Paul comparison with Caleb Williams, and you guys might tell me to shut up after this for the rest of the show. But one reason I like it, he lost before he got to the final round. Felder, that's a Chris Paul thing his whole career. That's a Caleb Williams thing this year. I'm just saying.
That's consistently, right? Like Chris Paul he can't get over the hump.
So seriously though, does that matter? Because I'm watching the Heisman ceremony this last weekend.
CJ Stroud's got to deal with it too.
Right. But at the very least, right, you're looking at, and Stroud backdoored his way in, but you're looking at the other 3 guys at the Heisman ceremony, like even Caleb Williams said it in his speech, you get to play in a couple weeks. Yeah. Like how much should that matter in this conversation of crowning the best quarterback in college football?
Clint, go.
I think it depends, man. I think it depends what program they're with, man. I mean, it's a much more complicated conversation than just the wins and loss records and the stats behind it, right? You look at C.J. Stroud, and really you look at Stetson Bennett. Them 2 dudes are pulling up to. Hey, we talked about the Candle Room, my spot in Dallas back in the day. G, I don't know if you was with me or not.
Oh yeah.
But look here. I mean, Stetson Bennett and C.J. Stroud, them boys pulled up in their daddy's Bentley, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
They're pulling up with daddy's Bentley, daddy's credit card. They're going home with something. Yes. They're going home with something, and she's going to be mighty fine, if you know what I mean.
I get it.
Hey, Max Duggan, he pulled up in that old pickup truck he was driving as a senior at that old small town Texas high school, wherever the hell he's from. And he went in there and on sheer want to and swag walked out with a bad one. You know what I mean? Like there's just a big, I mean, it's a much more complicated conversation than what's the stats look like? What was the win-loss record? I'm okay with Bryce. I'm okay with Duggan leaving Bryce Young off the list. Like I said, you got injured. You missed 2 ball games. Your team didn't go to the championship game. You had some big Heisman moments, but I'm okay with that.